Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm getting ready to cook a whole chicken and make a pot of soup. There's our chicken. There's our chicken. Can you see it? There it is. And I'm going to wash it up and then get it in my pot of water. Put it on the stove. I like the all-natural chicken because it has a little layer of fat on it, as you can see. It's got some color to it. It's got a little yellowish color to it, which means it's got some fat. And my chicken is probably still partially frozen. I always cut the tail off, this little piece right here. That gets thrown away. But I leave all the extra fat on the chicken. There's a piece of fat. It's going to go in the pot. I want to make sure my chicken's clean inside. Even though they say they clean them, I guarantee you, y'all, there's always something in there that you don't want to eat. So make sure you clean your chicken really good. You want to start with a clean sink, of course. You're handling meat. Ooh, this chicken's got a chunk of ice in it. You want to make sure your chicken is defrosted, y'all. Mine's still got a little ice in the middle. I'm trying to get it out. That's a piece of neck bone right there that they didn't take out. I'm just going to throw it in the pot. I've got a strainer in here, so if I lose any part of my chicken, any of the bones or anything, it'll catch it. Whew, I think I got it all. You want that chicken nice and clean inside. I don't know if y'all can see in there, but it's clean. There's no giblets or anything left in there. And I put my chicken breast side down. I'm going to wash my hands up. We're going to get this baby cooking here in a moment. I'm going to put in a stick of butter to add some extra fat. And we will have chicken, some kind of chicken soup tonight for supper. Let me dry my hands off. Get this pot over on the stove. Let's put some water on my counter. I'll come back and clean my counter up. I'm going to get the butter out. We're going to put some butter in this. And we're going to get it cooking. I buy these solid pound butters. I usually know about how much I'm putting in. This is a little less than a stick. Put a little more in there. That's probably closer to a stick of butter. And the rest of that butter's going back in my fridge. And we're going to turn this baby on and get it cooking. And I will check back with y'all in a little while. I'm going to get my kitchen cleaned up. There's the chicken and the butter in the pot. And I'm going to let it cook. I got my counters wiped down. I got to dry them off. As you can see, it's got a little layer of soap up there. But I wipe them down, and I got my sinks all clean. You want to make sure that when you're working with any kind of meat that you keep your kitchen clean so that you don't transfer germs. And I'm going to let this chicken boil for about an hour. I'm going to take it out of the pot. I'm going to get it deboned, and then we're going to make soup. I've added a teaspoon of salt and about a half a teaspoon of pepper, maybe a little bit more. I forgot to mention that the butter that we use is unsalted, so I do add salt to my food. I don't like salt in my butter. The reason I add salt is to add a little more flavor to my chicken soup and a little more fat. We want a good amount of fat in this soup because we are sick, so we want to get a good stock going, and we're going to add some garlic and some other things to it a little later on. Y'all, I'm using some canned goods that we have on hand. I was hoping I had more mixed vegetables because I wasn't planning on putting all this in there, but I don't have but one can of mixed vegetables left on my shelf. But we're going to have peas, carrots, potatoes, corn, mixed vegetables, and green beans in this soup. I will be adding ground turmeric, minced garlic, and parsley to the soup. Add some celery that I froze back in November, and I'm going to put that in my soup. I've got an onion I'm going to cut up, and I've got some leftover carrots, fresh carrots that were in my refrigerator. I'm going to slice them up and add them to the soup also. I may add some other type of bean, I'm not sure. Normally I would just do a basic chicken soup with onion, celery, carrots as the vegetables to put in it, and then add some noodles. But because I may end up canning some of this, I decided I was going to just add vegetables and go from there and can any leftovers that we have so we can have another meal out of it later on. You can recan your canned vegetables, so they're going to be in the soup. I think it'll be very good. And I've got my colander waiting in the sink to drain all my vegetables once I take them out of a can and get them rinsed real good. Y'all, this is a 16-quart Princess House stock pot that my daughter bought me for Christmas, and it is humongous. As you can see, it takes up almost 2 burners. I can put it in the oven. It can go up to 350 degrees in the oven. It's real easy to clean up. It's got a nice glass lid to it. I'm getting my vegetables ready. I've already dumped my cans in here to be prepared. And I did add a can of Bush's pinto beans that I had in the pantry. I'm going to add my celery to it now. That way the celery will start defrosting. My chicken is cooking. I'm getting a nice stock on it, as you can see. It's cooking, and I'm going to cut up my onion and my carrots and get them in this pot ready to go. I'm going to transfer my liquid over to the big Princess House pot. I'm going to get that chicken deboned here in a short, and we're going to add our seasoning in and start the soup. If you cry when you cut an onion, I will cut off this end. This is the bulb end where the green shoots would come up. This is the end where the roots are at. I will not cut this end, but I will cut this end and get my outer peeling off. I will take my knife and I will score it 4 places towards the root to get the peeling off. And I will take the peeling off. To keep from crying, you don't cut the root off. I cut through the root, halfway through. I'm going to lay it on its side. I'm going to go down, do some slits all the way through. And then I'm going to chop this onion up. No tears, y'all. Do the other half. That's where all your tears come from, right there. And I'm going to add this over into my Princess House stock pot. And since I'm cutting vegetables, and I'm only going to chop these carrots up a little bit, so they'll cook quicker. If I had whole carrots, I would peel them, but these are just little baby carrots I had in the refrigerator. I'm going to get them cut up. I'm going to get them put in the pot. When my chicken's cooked, I'm going to get it out of the pot, let it cool off for a little bit, and get it deboned, and get the chicken and the broth into the big pot. This was about a half a bag of carrots I had. Waste not, want not. You don't waste your food, you won't want it later on when you don't have it. Really and truly, nothing goes to waste around here, because if we have leftovers in the fridge, the majority of them go to the chickens as a treat. And in the summertime, they get all the ends off the fresh vegetables and stuff. We don't give them green bean ends or the potato peelings or mushrooms. We don't give them those. They get pretty much everything else out of the garden as far as greens. They get cabbage leaves and any kind of lettuce that we have growing. We give them tomatoes as a treat. They like tomatoes. But our ducks can't have tomatoes. So they can't have any kind of the nightshade family. So that would be eggplants, tomatoes. We don't plant beans where the ducks are at. They can have okra plants. They can have squash plants. They actually like the squash leaves. Let me dry my hands off real quick, y'all. Got a clean towel. I'm going to go ahead and get my minced garlic open. I'm hoping I can open it. Okay, I had to get my husband to open it up. I couldn't get the lid off. It was a brand new jar that I had. I'm going to put a tablespoon of turmeric. And a tablespoon of my parsley. A heaping tablespoon of parsley. And I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons of garlic in here. Garlic is really good antiviral. It's very good, very healthy for you. I use the minced garlic so I don't have to crush garlic. So I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of this. And after my soup cooks for a little while, I'll taste it and see if I need to add anything else or any more garlic or anything else to it. We'll be back in a little while. That's all the vegetables and the seasonings in my pot. I'm going to put the lid on here in a short and just leave it sitting here on the stove while the rest of this is cooking up. Then we'll get it all put together and finish cooking it. Okay, y'all, my chicken's done and it's floating in the pot and I'm fixing to lift it up. I'm just going to set it over here and I'm going to pour my juice into the other pot and get it set up on my stove. So that we can start our soup part. And this is the lid, y'all. It's huge. You can see how big it is. That's a big pot. There's the chicken. I'm going to let it cool for a little bit, but I'm going to move this other pot over. And you can see I got a huge, huge pot of soup. Can you see how big that is? Woo-wee, that's a big pot. That's a huge pot. I'm going to get that moved over. I may have to get my husband to help me. Okay, I got it centered on my front burner, which is my canning burner. I figured that was the stoutest burner I have. And we're going to get this covered. We're going to let that begin to cook while my chicken's cooling, and then I'm going to get that chicken deboned and we're going to get it in the pot. I'm going to get this chicken deboned, y'all. It's still hot, but I'm going to try to get as much meat off of it as I can. I'm going to save my bones because I can make bone broth with it. And the fat, the skin. And I'm just throwing it over here in my pan as I go. And I will be back here in a short. Baby, can you turn that off for me? Just hit the button. I did add a teaspoon and a half of salt and another teaspoon of black pepper and about 1/8 of a cup of lemon juice to brighten this. It cuts the fat a little bit. As you can see, that's our soup, y'all, and it's a big pot of it. We're going to be eating on this for a while. Most of this will probably be canned so we can have it later on. With all the garlic in there, that helps fight colds and stuff, and we just want to enjoy what we can while we're sick. Say a prayer for us. We do have the flu. We're over the fever part of it, so we're on the mend. Y'all, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for us. And also, if you would, leave a comment. Thank you.